Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. My name is Alex. Welcome back to the Profit Manage channel. So in today's video, I'm gonna give you guys the weekly update. Um, Before I start, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more content like this. Without further ado, let's get straight into the start of this week because today begins the crypto week, which of course in my opinion, is going to be a trap. I think that I mentioned it in the last video. I said that, in my opinion, we are in a bull trap. Have we gone higher from that video? Yes. Has that been covered? Yes. Has anything changed? Absolutely not. And I'm gonna show you guys why. And before I touch upon that, I also ended up closing my short-term position on algorithm, which I ended up sharing for free on Involio. So if you don't follow me on Involio, honestly, you're missing out. I mean, that's just on spot, no leverage whatsoever. We got the bottom and ended up closing today. So happy days, we made some money there. And so total one, like I said in the previous videos, guys, we are approaching a very resistance dense area. Not only do we have a trendline channel which is bearish right now, as we are unable to stay above it at this moment in time, but like I said in the previous video, which is also valid for Bitcoin because it's in a very similar situation, as you will see in just a few minutes. Until we see something like this where we are basically climbing above every single level of support here, and we are actually confirming as a support, it doesn't matter how high we go. And that's the reality of it. Now, can you not make money trading? Of course, you can always make money trading both directions. But if you're believing that this is the continuation of a sustainable uptrend, which is going to lead to higher prices across the crypto market, that may not necessarily be the case, and that's the reality of it. Now, does that mean that you should be selling everything? No. You should be playing in a manner that regardless of what happens, you ended up on top of it. Okay? It's like you gotta know, just like in a chess game, your next moves. Once you get the triggers, you gotta know what you're supposed to do. If you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. And that's the reality of it. Like, for example, today I ended up closing a position. Is that a coincidence? You think? No, it's not. And I will show you guys why it's not a coincidence. So you can see that right now we're facing resistance from my areas. I've seen a lot of potential retraces that could happen from this level, and I'm favoring ideally a return back down to this region over here, because this is a support dense area. Not only do we have two support levels highlighted in gold here, but we also have a bullish breaker that has not been retested just yet. So a return back down into this area will be so favorable for much higher prices to come that it's not even funny. So ideally we should be looking all forward to this push to the downside. And with the fact that this is a week that has been advertised as something bullish by all these media outlets on X, it's something that should be worrying you. And the fact that we have been making new highs on Bitcoin today, that is on a Monday. Mondays are, for the most part, the days where a weekly high, if it's a bearish week, or a weekly low, if it's a bullish week, tends to be formed 70% of the time. It's the stats that say it. Go and do your own research if you don't believe me. Okay, so I personally believe that as we have been approaching resistances starting crypto week, I think that this week could be quite bearish, okay, and it should be giving you the opportunity, in my personal opinion, to buy back at a cheaper price, okay. But it's completely up to you. Again, it's never financial advice. You can do whatever you want. I'm just telling you what I personally see and what I'm doing. Total 2, it's also at a level of resistance, so it's further confluence as to what I'm implying here. I'm looking ideally at a significant retrace back down to these regions. This is wishful thinking maybe. Do I need that to happen? Not necessarily, but I would love to see a significant reversal back down. Ideally to this here. This will be a dream coming true, okay? Anything lower, again, it's a bonus. But what I want to show you guys here is the fact that we are at resistances, or we are approaching resistances across the board. Total 3. Again, looks a little bit better than the rest. That does imply that there is a little bit more to go, in my opinion, with these altcoins. But again, I'm not gonna be taking the chance, right, of, you know, waiting for this level over here to be hit, or this one over here where everything else screams for resistance. Okay, so again, if it goes up to here, I know what I'm going to do. The members know what they're going to do. And talking about members, again, this is a very good moment in time. If you wish to take your old season to the next level, to actually know where you're supposed to be buying, where and what you should be buying, and if you want to learn a thing or two about how we operate at Profit Manage, there is a link down below in the description. You can choose the plan that best does it for you. Again, this is everything that you get. You get premium seniors, technical analysis, coins to buy, my current portfolio, everything that I do and we do, because it's not just me, but you also get a lot of amazing people in there as well. You get everything there in the description below. Okay, back to the video. Others chart. So again, another one that it's at a resistance. This can go a little bit higher, but you know, the fact that it has approached this resistance at the same time that the rest of the totals and Bitcoin, as I will show you guys in a second, has approached resistance, I cannot ignore this to be potentially the resistance that perhaps stops you out. Okay, and I've seen a lot of people FOMOing at this moment, so the fact that they are forming on resistance should be a very telling sign. Talking about Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin, I told you that inside of this area, it doesn't matter where we go. As long as we trade inside of it, this is not a bullish confirmation or of anything. And I'm sorry for this ugly projection here, but I was trying to show you guys a potential consolidation pattern. But it doesn't matter what we do inside of it. What we are waiting for, right, to truly believe that this uptrend could be a sustainable uptrend, right, it's pretty much this. Breakout above this trendline channel, which I've highlighted in red, flip it as a support, continuation higher. Until you don't see that, okay, this is not a breakout to me. This is a bull trap, and I will keep on saying that. Not only that, but I've also made this this call out, okay, initially with the premium members, because they always get the access to my information first. And this is a trend line, right, that is so important, it's not even funny. And I'm going to show you guys how it goes back in time. So this trend line over here, guys, is a trend line from the bull cycle of 2018 to the top of the real top, I should say, of 2021. And it's actually just coming back into the picture here. So this is the third touch of this trend line. Now, the third touch of a trend line is usually the one that tends to reverse things back down. So even if you do end up seeing a push slightly above this trend line here, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bullish one. It could also be a simple fake out to the upside. So this is something you should be aware about. This sort of situation can happen, and it can lead to significant more downside. And you should be rejoicing for seeing that, because while it's not just gonna give you guys a buying opportunity, this could also mean, if, and I say if, it's a sustainable uptrend for Bitcoin, that a continuation higher is likely, because the third touch of a trend line is usually the hurdle that inverts a trend, at least for the time being. Sometimes it can also be marking a significant top, maybe even a cycle top. It's kind of early for me to say that for Bitcoin, and honestly, most of you guys, and I'm saying at least 99% of you guys, are probably already in altcoins, and you should be rejoicing for a push to the downside right now, because it's gonna give you guys some significant beautiful amount of opportunities on these altcoins. So you're gonna be able to scoop a lot of altcoins at a way cheaper price than you're anticipating, in my opinion, and that is because of the Bitcoin dominance, as we will see in a second. So again, we are struck a very important trend line. We are still in an area where we could face a lot of resistance, and not only that, but you also have the minus 27% levels that are actually giving you, in my opinion, a level of resistance here. You can see that this is an area that you could potentially even consider trading from if you wish. That's up to you. But then again, look, this could potentially reverse back down. Ideally, and I say ideally because it could maybe stop a little bit earlier, perhaps something like 105 could be enough, okay? could be enough. We will see, but ideally the lower we go the better, in my opinion. Means that we are getting more fuel for more down, for more upside. You can see that there is a lot of liquidity that has been created during this moves to the upside, and the more liquidity we gather, the better the push to the upside will be. You gotta kind of picture it as a trampoline, okay? The lower you push, the higher you're gonna go, and the higher you're going right now, the less you're going to be going, and more downside will be required regardless. Okay, so I think that we should all be rejoicing for more downside if it comes. Bitcoin dominance, again, it's not a full-blown alt season. You're still holding this area over here as a support until invalidated. While yes, I am favoring ideally a push to the downside, let just this thing be very, very clear, and I've said this plenty of times. I still believe that this has higher to go. Okay, so it doesn't matter if my projections are pointing to more downside, because this is kind of what I'm envisioning, but I'm still favoring, and I still want to see more upside with the Bitcoin dominance. If it drops, cool. I have coins for a reason, okay? But I also have a very strong cash position for a good reason, okay? So be mindful about that. Ethereum, again, at a level of resistance. It's a psychological level. 3000 level has been hit. It's at an area of resistance. Also, the bearish 61.8% has been hit. It's starting to break out of the bearish trendline channel, but we don't have any confirmations about that. This has to push to the upside, also as a support, and then keep on climbing all these hurdles, okay, if it's going to see any more upside. At this moment, you have no guarantees of that happening. Total 3 minus Solana, BNB, XRP, USDT, USDC. I should probably find a shorter name for this, but anyways, so you have climbed above this important trend line. That looks good, okay, yes. However, you have not confirmed this as a support, so what I'm looking for here is a retest of this series as support, and only if that ends up holding can we now consider more upside to come. So if that happens, I know where I want to buy, and I will probably be making this call out on the premium Discord. If this invalidates, okay, if this invalidates, I will probably be looking for something like this, more downside, which will still be leading, in my opinion, to more upside afterwards. But you know, the most important trend line is going to be this one over here, so be mindful about that. This is kind of what I'm envisioning at this moment in time. So with that being said, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, hit a like, comment down below your thoughts. Are you bullish or bearish? Subscribe for more content like this. And like I said, if you want to take things up a notch and you want to, you know, get all my trading signals, all my buys, all my sells, and everything else, this is the place where you have to go. Link in the description. I'll see you guys later. Peace.